You know guys, importing from Illustrator or Photoshop or any program that has layers into After Effects, we sometimes run into the problem of scaling up and down or rotating even left and right and so on, where all the elements are just crazy rotating around and scaling around. There are a couple of solutions that you can adopt here. I will show you. Let's import our file from Illustrator. I will right click in the project panel, go to import, go to file, and here I want to choose the robot animated. This is a new robot and you're going to do some work on it. Now the import kind here, I can import as footage. It will come just in a single piece. It means all the layers will disappear and it will come just an image from Illustrator. That's really not what we want. We want it as composition, and here we have the choice for layer size. The footage dimensions here is a layer size. Layer size is the size of the layers within Illustrator, not After Effects. Keep it in mind. Also, I can have the document size, which is the size of Illustrator. If you put document size, then all the layers will be as big as the document in your Illustrator. Let's go back to layer size and click OK. So I have here the robot animated and all its layers. You see there are very many. Let's double click on the robot animated. Now, this robot is very beautiful, but it's very big, guys. Look. I mean, if I want to animate it, it's gonna be all over the place and it's very big. If I choose all the layers and I open scale for all of them and I scale down, you see a disaster happens. But actually think about it a bit. It's happening because they are scaling according to their anchor point. Each layer is scaling according to its own anchor point. That makes sense, and that is very practical and that's very powerful. Remember that. But now this is not what we want. Let's undo this. We want to scale the whole robot. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is to pre-compose. I will right click, for example, pre-compose, and just call it nothing. We want to delete it later. And here we are, we have now a very big pre-composition. We can open the scale of the pre-comp and scale it all down. That's good. But pre-comps have their own problems and have their own challenges and stories like this, you know, mainly if you want to apply effects to the robot and not to the whole thing. Cool. Let's undo this and see another method. I will undo until I get all the layers back. I will come and add a new null object. Now I have a null object just in the middle of this composition. You know the concept of null object. I will choose all my layers, that's Ctrl A, but I don't want to choose the null 6, so I press Ctrl and click on the null 6. It will remove it from the selection. I'll take the pick whip and just drop it on null 6. Now all the layers are parented to the null 6. If I open scale, you know very well all the children are going to be scaled according to the anchor point of the null layer. That's pretty good. Let's take it down, and here you are scaling your robot very nicely. Let's say you want it in that big, okay, and then you want to put it here. But now you don't want this anchor point. Let's make it a bit bigger. It's too small for me. Cool. So, but you don't want now to leave this null here. You can just come and delete it. Cool. Now you have scaled your robot, you scaled all your layers, and you deleted the null layer, so you don't have any null layer. Now it will be good to leave the null layer there. Of course, we are going to change the parenting here. You can say, okay, I will leave my null layer, but I want only the hips, which is this layer here, to be parented to the null 6, and all the rest except the hips. So I will select them all, remove the hips, remove the null layer, and all this will be none. So now only the hips are parented to the null layer. If you move the null layer, for example, you can see, and then everything else will be parented as the main parent, the hips or the null layer, and you can work through it. So these are the two methods to scale up and down. Of course, you could have used rotation and so on. In the next lecture, you are going to animate this robot, but it's going to be your assignment or your practice activity. It's a very nice robot. I'll see you in the next lecture.